Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. So today we're going to be throwing some parts on the Lectric XP 750 to see if it resolves some of the issues I've been having. So now if you guys have been following my channel, you'll know that a few weeks ago I posted a video where I showed the power difference between the 750 watt version versus the 500 watt version going up some hills with my son riding on the back, and then also a very steep hill. And in that test I was getting an E08 throttle error code and it was making some funny noises. So if you guys are interested in seeing exactly what it was doing, go watch that video. I'll leave a link to it in the description or up here or something. You guys can go check that out. So now when I was getting the E08 error code, it was making some weird motor noises and something just didn't sound right, didn't seem right. So what I did was the throttle looked exactly the same on the 500 watt version. So I took the throttle actually off the 500 watt version, put it on this version, plugged it in, and it was still doing the same thing. And then the throttle that I took from this one and put on the 500 watt version has been working fine. So I kind of ruled out myself that it probably wasn't the throttle, even though it was giving me a throttle error code. But I reached out to Lectric through an email, and if you guys have issues, this is the way I recommend doing it with any company. So I would take a video of the exact problem, try to show what it's doing, whether it's a noise or a video of the issue, explain it, and then send it in an email, and then also follow up maybe in the next day or two with them via a phone call. And then that way they can actually go in and just look at the email as you're talking to them. They can review your video and see what they think it might be to help you resolve the issue a little bit quicker. And I think it might be a little bit less back and forth as well. And you guys already know Lectric has really good customer service. It's a US based company, and that's why I always love reviewing their bikes, and that's why it's one of the top recommended bikes and the best-selling e-bike, selling over 600,000 bikes since they came out with the original XP, which I still have, by the way. I don't really ride it anymore, but I still have it. I just can't see myself to get rid of it because that's just the first bike I ever bought. But when I first reached out to Lectric, their tech team said that they would send me a new throttle, a new controller, and a new master cable. This is basically the cable that goes from the handlebars down to the controller in case it had an internal wiring short. Now there must have been some miscommunication because the first girl that I talked to said that they would send me an email confirming everything. Well, I was just waiting on the controller to come in, didn't even really follow up on the email. And when I got the parts, I was surprised that I did not get the controller. So that might have been a little bit miscommunication on my end. I emailed them back and said, hey, I only got these two items. They said, oh, that was a misunderstanding because we were waiting for you to follow up after doing some more testing. And long story short, it was no issue. They said they would get me a controller out right away. However, at the time, they didn't have any, so I did have to wait a few weeks to get a new controller. They had to wait for their shipment to come in. So I do also have a new controller. And to be honest, the first email I submitted, they didn't get back to me within a few days, and that's why I decided to call. And that's when I noticed they could just look up your email, see your video, and it just makes the process go along a little bit quicker and smoother. And I know during sometimes when they're just releasing a new bike, I'm sure their customer service gets overwhelmed, but the main thing is they're a US based company out of Phoenix, and in my opinion, they stand behind their product. So what we're gonna do today is, being that I already changed the throttle with the 500 watt bike, we're not gonna change that first, and we're not gonna change this cable first. We're gonna go ahead and swap the controller out and see if that fixes the issue first. But I just wanna show you guys a little bit of what it's doing. You can go back to that other video, like I said in the beginning, and see what it did on that test. But I also noticed something after the fact that it's doing, and I know that's part of the problem. And honestly, I think it's a controller programming issue possibly, but we're gonna find out. Oh, and if you find my videos helpful and informative, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the new XP4, if you ordered it, if you have it or got it, if you've been having any issues. Just leave me a comment in general, it really helps my channel out, and please consider subscribing. And if you haven't already purchased one of these and do decide to after watching all of my videos to make sure this is the right bike for you, I'll leave a link down below, and I'd appreciate it if you guys do use that link. I'll receive a small commission, which is what helps me in creating these videos with all the time it takes editing, filming, things like that. It helps me with gear. So I just want to thank you guys in advance if you do decide to use the link and to support this channel. So let's get into what I noticed it was doing, and hopefully this will help you out with your bike. If you're having issues, maybe years down the road, if people have issues, videos like this is what's going to help you possibly diagnose and fix your problems. So now what I noticed, I'm going to pick the back wheel off the ground and hit the throttle, and then the wheel's going to come to a stop, but you're going to be able to hear that the motor never really disengages. When you let off that throttle, there should be no power going to that motor, and it should just come to a rolling stop. You could still hear the motor humming even when I let go of the throttle, and it just hums slightly until almost the very end of the wheel coming to a complete stop. So I'm thinking either there's something going on in the motor, or like I said, might be a controller issue. Now, one thing I did do was I made the wheel spin, and then I unhooked the throttle cable up here at the handlebars as the wheel was spinning to see if the power would cut to there, thinking if there was maybe a short in here somewhere that would disconnect that, and it did not. The only thing that happened is I got a little error code here, and then when you scrolled through the settings, it said E08 error on the screen. And then when I plugged it back in, that went away. But that E08 error code was the same error code I was getting doing that hill test video. So let me show you what it's doing here that I noticed after. Take it off the ground a little bit, hit the throttle lightly. You can hear it still humming. Still getting power, shouldn't be. And now it's not even stopping, that's crazy. So that's what it's doing, it's still getting power. Now it just shut off and the power just quit. So you could see that it never should come to a rolling stop like that. It should automatically cut the power as soon as you stop pedaling, and it should just come to a rolling stop like this. So I'm gonna try that again, but I'm just gonna turn the wheel slightly with the pedals, and you can hear how quiet it is now. You can hear no hum. It just comes to a stop. I'm gonna hit the throttle again. And now you can hear it humming. And still trying to go. It shouldn't be going right now. And it just stopped. So that's why I think maybe it's an internal issue with the controller, but let's swap it out and see if it fixes it. All right, everyone, so this is what you want to do. It makes it a little bit easier. If you put something underneath there, right now I have a 6x6. It opens the bike up nice. You can get your battery out still. You could get to your controller easily, and you could still get to in here to access your wire to your rear motor and to help fish your wires up and down. I already removed the zip ties here for the rear motor. To disconnect the rear motor, it's fairly simple. You just unscrew this here, and it just pulls right apart. The main thing is about this is make sure that these arrows on this wire here line up when you're connecting everything back together, and don't force it because there's little pins in here that you don't want to bend. But there is a little prong in there, so you can only actually put it together one way. So the rear motor is now disconnected. Now we're going to take this controller connecting plate off here, and the controller sits behind here on most folding e-bikes. So just remove that, and here is the controller. So now all you have to do is pull this out and unplug all the connections off of this, and then plug in the new one. And that's one thing I love about the new Lectric controllers. There's only a couple wires, so very, very easy to change this yourself if you had a problem in the future. Some of the bikes I've taken apart before to check out their controllers have a million wires, and it's going to be a pain in the butt if I ever had to change those. Not that big of a deal, but it's definitely a lot nicer just to have a couple connections. So now I'm going to pull the motor wire out of here first. You have your power wire here, very easy to unhook. And then there's only 3 other wires really. The hardest one is, let's see, these two will be easy. This is for the torque sensor here. One is for your rear brake light, and the last connection is for the connection up top. Now this one's going to be a little tricky because it's down in there. So what I'm going to do is push this down in there, pull it out the bottom down here, and then disconnect and reconnect the new one down here, and then fish it back up through. And the old controller is disconnected. And here's the specs on it. If you're interested, it's a 48 volt 24 amp controller with plus or minus 1 amp. And that's how it peaks at 1310 watts to the rear motor. All right, so I'm gonna plug these 2 smaller ones in first here. This is the brake light. And again, match these arrows up on here. There's little tiny arrows. Match these up on both sides to make sure that they go together correctly. And then you have your torque sensor here. And then this bigger one's going to be black and black as well. And then your motor wire, which is completely different than the others because it has these big prongs in it. So now I'm going to fish the motor wire down through here, and then this other wire, and then connect this other wire up. All right, here it is here. All right, that's connected. I'm just going to fish everything down in here, and then I'm probably going to put something around this so it don't bounce around so much and make noise inside the frame here. And I actually have to do that with bikes here or there as I get them with both the battery and the controllers. When I hear stuff rattling around, I usually take them apart, make sure everything's secure good, or keep it from bouncing around metal off of metal, usually with felt pads or little foam pads. You just got to watch how many you put on and where you put them, because you don't want that to make the controller hot. You don't want anything you put on there to melt if the controller gets hot. But one thing I do like about this XP4 better than the 3.0 is that the frame inside here is bigger. The channel for the controller to sit in is a lot bigger. It's not so tight and compact in there trying to fit it in there. So that was a pretty nice upgrade on the XP4. All right, now what we're gonna do is plug this back in and hook this up to the battery, making sure that negative and positives are in the right spot here. Turn the battery on with the switch, hit the throttle, and see if that motor still makes the noise. Whoops, E07 error. Getting a little bit ahead of myself. I gotta plug the motor in first. All right, here we go. And I do not hear a humming. Sounds like it's freewheeling to me. Let's see. Yep, sounds good so far. One more time. Yep, and I do not hear a humming. It sounds like it's freewheeling just fine right now. All right, let's take this baby for a ride now and see if the E08 error code's fixed. But first we have to finish putting it back together. What I did was I took some of these felt pads here, self-adhesive, and I stuck them on the frame, not the controller, where this thing could bounce around to prevent any noise it might make. Just a couple little strips. And then don't forget to secure your wires up really good with zip ties so they don't get into your rear wheel, and snip them off. All right guys, here we go. So far so good. Sounds super quiet, just like it did initially when I reviewed it, when I flew down to Phoenix and reviewed it at the Grand Canyon. Running just like that now. Now, I seen on the forums some people were saying that their motor was making a weird screeching sound once they hit about 15 miles per hour. I'm not sure exactly what that is. That seems like maybe a little bit of a different problem, but it could be the controller as well. But right now, 17, 18, 19, 20, no issues. Let's slow down here, start from the stop. No problem past 15 to 20 miles an hour, staying super quiet. So my issue was fixed with a brand new controller. Tons of power now. Let's go try it on the grassy hill and see if it has more power than when I initially tried it in that power test video. And the battery is not completely fully charged right now, so I'm gonna have to do this test again once I charge it up. But I wanna get initial impression here on it with the battery at 51 volts. That's what I'm currently sitting at. A fully charged battery is somewhere around 54. So I will get a little bit more power with a fully charged battery, but we're gonna test this real quick because I remember where it got me on a full battery going up that hill, and it sounded like it made a weird noise. So let's try it again. Here we are here at the grassy hill. And when I do this test, when I test all my bikes up this hill, I start out right at that center post on that batting cage down there from a dead stop, use throttle only and the highest pedal assist level, and see how far I can make it up this hill. And the reason I do that is hardly any bike can make it up this hill unless it's a dual motor or really very high powered bike cannot make it from a dead stop. This hill is actually steeper than it looks. So to make the test fair, I start there on full throttle. Some bikes will gain momentum a little faster than others, so that plays a factor in it. But essentially, that's if you were riding a normal ride around town, you're probably going to get somewhat of a run for hills, and that's just a little bit of a run there, but that equals the playing field. So we'll see how far this can get me up at this time. And like I said, then I'll try it with a fully charged battery later on. All right, here we go, turbo mode. I'm at 51.3 volts. Sitting there right before this test. Oh yeah. So I definitely made it further than I did on the initial test. So let's see if we could just start pedaling here and finish making it up this. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, I almost made it to the top there. Full battery might make it. The motor did sound a little bit weird there at the end, but nothing out of the normal. That does that on a lot of bikes when you come to a complete stop and you're putting all that power to it. That's not something you want to do. Normally you want to pedal just a little bit going up these hills, and just a little bit of effort is going to get you right up them. But definitely 100% better with the new controller. Hope you found this interesting, and hopefully it helps you diagnose your bike and fix it if you ever have a problem in the future. Let me know down below. Like I said, please put a comment. Let me know about your bikes. If you've even had any other e-bikes that's had problems, put it down below. Let everybody know. And let us know your fix if you fixed it. That way it helps people diagnose and understand these problems and fix their e-bikes. So thanks for watching. Like I said, check out my other videos. I think I have 2 on this bike so far. And I took the 500 watt one camping a couple weeks ago for 4th of July week. I put about 75 miles on it at the campground, and it's been working flawlessly, no issues with it. But I'll see you guys around on the next one. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going riding.